Welcome everyone to the Toy Box Podcast. This is 2017 episode 6. My name is Zachamus Prime. Praise the Sun. Streaker.
I'm Ezen Totoro. I am the child of the sun, Mezun Rider Black RX.
This is Necroblivion. I am the moon to your sun, Streaker.
Timotheus Prime, and I am streaking the sun, and it burns! Oh, it burns!
Thank you, everybody. So
that happened.
it's good to be back. It's been quite a while since I've been on the podcast, so I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be chatting with everybody again. It's always fun to speak with fellow fans about the frivolous things in my life.
And it's fun to try to get you to spend more money on frivolous things, because that's what we do here.
Yeah, I will admit that there's a few things that I've bought as a result of talking with you jerks.
All right.
Our job is done.
Yep.
No, it's not done yet. There's still more things to buy. My wife hates me right now, though.
It's always ongoing.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I've spent a ton of money this last week with very little input from anyone else, so that was exciting.
Oh, you're like self-determining your expenditure of money now. That's excellent, man.
Well, HLJ, like damn near every daily sale for the last week I've gone in on, so
Yeah, HobbyLink Japan.
that was bad.
HobbyLink Japan, they know how to hit you where it hurts, right in the wallet.
Well, also Takara will be hitting us in the wallet very soon. Because, we finally got pics of Masterpiece Sunstreaker just kind of out of the blue.
I was surprised that they didn't start with we see like, oh, a silhouette or like, oh, a gray prototype or like, oh, something like that. And they're just like, you know what? Here it is right here. It's bam, full color, full. I mean, it looked like it could have been a production model. Just like, there it is. Here it is, Sunstreaker.
And not even like a new rumor or anything. It just out of nowhere, Sunstreaker. And man, they really hit some good marks on this one.
I was really surprised. It looks so much like the Bad Cube Sun Surge in the way it transforms and the way it looks. I mean, it definitely looks like an upgrade to the Bad Cube Sun Surge, but it really looks influenced by that.
Right, and I share the same sentiment because I have Sun Surge, and I noticed a lot of the just the outward appearance of it. Proportions are a lot like it. It just kind of makes me wonder. But the good thing is that a lot like Bad Cube's version, it also hits a lot of the anime version. Well, a lot of those parts too, where it's like, okay, cool, this is like a good screen accurate looking Sunstreaker, which we've only been waiting for since we purchased Masterpiece Sideswipe.
Yep.
Right?
It's probably longer than we think.
No, it is. It's about 5 years. I was being facetious earlier because I didn't want us to go, man, it's been that long. But it has. It really has.
You know, I was talking with a buddy of mine, and we are both convinced that they just basically that they started with the Sun Surge and just kind of, you know, backwards engineered it from there, which is so funny to me if that's really what they did, because like what's Bad Cube gonna do about it? Oh no, you stole our design that we basically stole the character from you first, you know. So I'm like, well played, Takara. That kind of tickles me.
Yeah, but right now we're just looking at aesthetics, and we don't really have any cues as to what else is going on, with the exception of the chest actually being part of the roof of the alt mode just caved in. It's not a fake chest, but I think the big test will be seeing the transformation, because with Bad Cube, and especially with Surge, there's that explosion effect that goes on where you just essentially like discombobulate and like open wound their figure and then start putting it back together. And I have a feeling that the car version isn't going to follow that same route. It's going to be a little bit more finessed, kind of offline before we start recording. But I'm excited to see what that aha moment and transformation is, where it's just so pleasing and so different than whatever we've experienced before. So I think there's a lot to look forward to, but right now they've definitely hit the marks to where I'm gonna go ahead and order it when I get a chance.
Yeah, people are complaining because they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's $120," whereas like most of the car figures have been like $80 when they come out. But looking at this figure, like it's definitely more parts than your average than like Sideswipe, and it's definitely more intricate than Sideswipe, and it's definitely, you know, there's more there than, you know, Sideswipe or Prowl or whatnot, and I think it merits the price point, to be honest.
And I was one of those people that was a little, I guess, offended by that, but at the same time, that's the first pre-order we saw that went up to 120. I have a feeling it might drop down, and that particular retailer has been known to, you know, jump the gun a bit, have a little bit exorbitant, and then once the announce, or you know, the retail price, they'll drop it down a bit, and I don't have any reason to believe they won't do that this time. But they were really conservative in how they decided to price it.
Yeah.
Ben, you're right. I mean, the Carbots originally, you know, well, Japanese like 6,000 yen, 7,000 yen. We're paying in the States for about $70-$80, maybe 100. Us, it just seems a bit much because there's not a whole lot of more accessories, and about the parts count, yeah. So I guess all in due time.
I'm just really excited. It looks really good. I love the detail on it. Takara did say there will be more masterpieces with more paint. I like the fact that the classical contours look like a classical contours, like Sideswipe, or it can have the motor on the back, part of integrated into the figure.
Yeah,
And you guys talked about that, didn't you?
Not the engine part. No, we haven't talked about that. But since you brought up, the one thing I hope they show later on is if there's the ability for that back piece for the engine to higher up, or maybe extend out on the back, to be a little bit more like the cartoon. And I mean, it's possible. We just might not have seen it yet. But right now, it's got a very low profile.
It looks really good, but yeah, 120 is a little pricey, but it looks like Takara has basically made the decision. We're not going to half-ass it to masterpieces anymore. We're going to go gung-ho.
Go full ass.
Go full ass, but, you know, the price was going to go up, you know, and some of the collectors were like, man, I would pay more if the quality was better. Well,
here you go. Well, and the other thing is that like what we were saying is that may just be a speculative price on that pre-order, because there's really like the one company that put up that pre-order first, and they are known for having speculative pre-order prices.
Right.
Yeah.
I know GCI, they put up for 110, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the official MSRP. I think it'll be somewhere in between what we're used to paying for Masterpiece cars and under the 120 for sure.
Yeah, and that's where I feel comfortable with. Like, you know, again, we're talking a few years out from the Carbots. The last one being Trax, and that one kind of has a bad reputation. But you know, the original Carbots, that's a few years apart, and I could see paying a little bit more, maybe $10-$20 more for improvements, whatever else they're trying to do. But yeah, those just really high up, and it's so close to, you know, what you're paying for Inferno or Hoy. So, you know, larger figures that come with a lot of accessories. And there's still time for them to show that there's more accessories to be packed in with Sunstreaker, including that chip chase. Doesn't feel like they're going to put that much in to make it worth, you know, for us, $20 less than the Inferno package.
Hey, that chip chase legs better be articulated, or I'm going to feel cheated.
What's he gonna do with articulated legs, Tim?
Well, no. No, it looks like it's. I mean, it really doesn't look like there's any articulation on them, even at the shoulders. And that was what the guy that came with tracks was Raul. He didn't have very much articulation.
No, he was
He's
just a
definitely-
static figure.
Yeah, I guess they kind of don't care about the human figures as much as just like to give us a representation that's not the greatest, but at least it's there.
One of the
Hey, he comes. Yeah.
one of the nice things about tracks, though, Masterpiece Blaster.
Yeah, Masterpiece Blaster. So,
Guys, we've not seen Soundwave remolded into Blaster yet for Masterpiece.
I don't think they could. I don't know how they would cheat that. Like Blaster and Soundwave, aesthetically are totally different. They cheated really hard on Titan's Return.
They cheated really hard, and it
I'm
still
mostly
looks
okay
like
with
crap.
the cheat as long as I got some Autobot cassettes. It could be just the exact same thing mold-wise with new cassettes. I would buy it.
Well, they released the
Well, you're-
cassettes separately.
Please, man.
wait, what was that?
But
about
yeah, I'm a sucker. I will admit it.
Well, he's an important character, and of course, with Blaster comes the prospect of his cassette buddy. So yeah, I think that's a big thing on people's wish list is to get a Blaster. Time will tell.
I'm sure it'll happen.
So also with spending too much money, we've got some Hascon announcements and some of the ticket prices.
Oh my gosh.
So
Hey,
yeah,
if
the
you're a hard-
the $600 3-day adult ticket.
If you have money to
I better
burn.
get everything. I think if you do that, you should get an autograph of like. I heard they have celebrities like John Warden. I was laughing when I saw that. Guest John Warden. I mean, he works for Hasbro, but he's a guest. He's special because he did that cute video where he cradled Titan Class Trypticon and treated it like his only child.
Well,
Yeah, but you do realize that for Transformers fans, the big guests are both Peter Cullen and Frank Welker.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge.
Yeah, so I mean, for some people, I mean, maybe not $600, but for previous BotCons, trying to get some time with them or just an autograph, that definitely added more to your purchase. So the good thing is we're learning more about Hascon. Anybody intending to go for this first appearance?
negative bird dog leader.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I really want to see how it turns out. I really love to find out what the Superfan goodie bag includes.
Yeah, they did
Probably
mention
a
that.
great deal of disappointment is my first guess, but I want to know.
Masterpiece Sunstreaker.
No, more like a movie Bumblebee.
Oh man, that movie Masterpiece Bumblebee. Oh my gosh. Mm.
Okay, yeah. Now that'd be great, but no, I wouldn't even go. I'd probably just say a movie Bumblebee. It's like static little figure that's in your box. But what's interesting though is they did announce some of the various packages you can purchase there, and they have several brands that they're working with, including Magic the Gathering. What I think is interesting is that they might hold off on further announcements about what you can get in the various packages if it includes any type of like toy exclusive, because who knows exactly what they're gonna have available for San Diego Comic Con. Always big for them.
Well, I honestly have no idea. I hope it does well. I hope it's good because, eventually before I die someday, I'd like to go to Hascon because I missed out on BotCon. So I will be going to SideCon this August, and I think Zach is too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Which one?
It's like the world's
SideCon.
smallest Transformers
Area.
convention.
Wait, could y'all repeat that?
It's the world's smallest
SideCon?
Transformers convention.
Okay, cool. Y'all kind of played out the first time, so okay.
No problem. But I hope Hascon's okay. I mean, we'll have to see what happens. It happens, I think, September 10th. I don't know if I have the date correct or not, but it is happening in September, and we'll just have to see. And it is in Florida, so let's hope for the best. I mean, there's not much else info on it except that we know Peter Cullen and Frank Welker's going to be there. I guess some famous Nerf guy who on YouTube is going to be there. And some representative of My Little Pony, John Warden, and I think that's the only ones I know so far.
Well, we're still about 3 months out, so they may be holding the cards to their chest right now.
Wait, My Little Pony? Dude, sign me the fuck up.
I guess she was a producer for My Little Pony or something. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. I just remember perusing over it briefly.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. That's cool.
Hey, I think My Little Pony is kicking rad, so...
Yeah, 7 seasons, dude. Not to segue too much since we are talking about Hascon, but 7 seasons! Transformers never touched that.
That is sad. I still grieve the loss of Transformers Prime.
Oh man, Transformers Prime was great. But
Yeah.
as a guy who watches My Little Pony, I can say that all the seasons have been pretty good so far.
I'm like 2 seasons behind, so I gave up.
Yeah, Evan, who was the one who, well, I guess he didn't get me into it, but Evan also gave up, so I am the only brony alive.
Last brony standing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, you guys, besides the Transformers, there, I heard I guess G.I. Joe, Mask, probably the other stuff supposed to be there. Besides Transformers, you guys excited about anything else there?
I don't know. I'll get a Bumblebee if it disassembles like it does in the trailer, and then not reassemble.
Oh, that hurt.
I know, right? We're watching the trailer, right? And then Bumblebee gets blown apart, and it's just like, yes! And then he assembles himself back together, and it's like, son of a bitch.
It was kind of cool in a way.
I suppose.
I like the gun arm blasting itself away.
That means they abandoned Jazz, and Jazz is still alive.
Yeah, Jazz is like, guys, wait, what about me? Somewhere Jazz's legs are walking around trying to find the rest of him.
Did you guys see the little Seth Green thing he made fun of on Robot Chicken about the movie? Where Optimus is giving a U-log. Sadly, Jazz died. Hey guys, I'm right here! No, sadly, you died, and we gotta go back to base.
Yeah, those little skits are pretty poignant when we point out those kind of things. But yeah, this kind of left him to go. It's like, oh well, bye.
Yeah, I wonder if there'll be ever any explanation of how he just shrugged that off. I feel like kidding. Waiting for story explanations in a Bay movie. What the hell is wrong with me?
That's an excellent question, man. That's an excellent question.
I still, when I saw that, I was like, hey, that's cool, but, that just throws any sense of, I guess, realism. I don't know if that's the right word. Out completely the window. But to be fair, biological living machines, mass shifting, I don't know.
Well,
the rule has been if their head is off and hits the ground, they're dead. And now that rule is gone.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is that it doesn't throw out the realism so much as it throws out the suspense, Because it used to be, oh my gosh, Jazz gets ripped in half and now he's freaking dead, One of the main guys and now he's dead. Anybody can die, who knows? And then they're
Except Bumblebee.
They're like, well, no, wait a second. If this gets ripped off, then maybe you can put it back, and And now they're like, yeah, if you get completely disassembled, just put them back together, like freaking Ultra Magnus in the original movie. And it's all good.
Crazy theory. I have a crazy theory, guys. Crazy. It just popped in my brain. Just crazy.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. So supposedly, Bumblebee's dead. And Waspinator clone Bumblebee.
Too crazy. Sorry.
Or a movie Bumblebee has always been a piece of junk, so he's actually a Junkion.
Oh, there you go.
All right, but how much fun would it be if the reason why he comes back together is there was one unannounced Transformer that's in this movie, and his name is Windcharger, and he just put him back together with his abilities.
Wait, Windcharger's in the movie?
No, speculation.
He's purple and turns into a tank.
Oh, okay, that's my problem. I was expecting like a red car.
No,
Never expect a red car.
unless it's called Cliff Jumper, and still don't expect it.
Yeah.
No. Well, they might change his name to Roadburn or something.
Poor Cliff Jumper getting killed in a comic.
Didn't even get any screen time, man.
Nope.
Kind of like Cliff Jumper in Transformers Prime. At least he was in the first episode, and he was voiced by The Rock. Yeah. That probably cost their whole budget.
Awesome.
Probably.
I smell what it's cooking though.
You smell what Cliff Jumper's cooking?
Hey,
Because it's
man,
Dark Energon.
I would nerd out because I'm a wrestling fan, and so is Mikey. So, but yeah,
Shall we go ahead and go into Fanstoys Rouge?
Sure.
Fanstoys Rouge looks great. They've got like the comparison images of what's that other one? That other one that kind of looks like garbage. I don't know. It looks so much better though.
Well, there's the Toy World one that hasn't come out yet, and then there's the oversized one, which has been out for a few months now.
Yeah, but see the oversized one is just an oversized of the deluxe class figure, and while that's fun, it's not like especially
Right.
since it really only looks
You're not
good.
gonna guess that.
It really only looks good in robot mode. But I mean, the same can be said of the Toy World one, which really looks terrible in vehicle mode.
Oh gosh.
Right.
Though
Yeah.
that car mode has some sexy legs, man. Woo!
Oh man, them legs.
I don't know, they look
Legs
locked
for
up.
days.
That's the problem. But here, Fans Toys went ahead and made a really awesome looking alt mode and a really awesome bot mode. And what's really cool too is that she doesn't necessarily have the backpack. She has separate little shoulder packs that come up. And it's not just one big hood that jumps on her back, and it's like what they did with with a lot of figures, a lot of the movie ones from last time around, like that Galvatron. Like, hi, this whole thing just goes back here, and that's it. It does nothing else.
Yeah, she's definitely not a shell former.
But there you go. It took me 30 seconds to to do what you did in 2 seconds. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Next time on Stream of Consciousness with Necro. We don't have time for that. But no, Fence Toys, this has my money. I don't know when it's coming out, but I can wait for it. It totally works as Masterpiece RC for me.
Here, I'm going to throw some optimism out on it as well. Humongous Gigantus is that a Mega Supreme they're making, right?
Terminus.
Oh, Terminus Gigantus. Okay. So the first prototypes, I was like excited, but I was like, oh, it's disproportionate. That's off. And then all of a sudden, bam. It's like, oh, here's the update. Holy crap, what a difference. And then bam, they just released like the final pics that I think, Mikey, you posted them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. That is the sexiest Mega Supreme I've ever seen. So we've only seen, as far as I can tell, correct me if I'm wrong, the prototype gray pictures of Source. Is that her name? Source?
Who?
So, this RC?
Yeah.
Rouge.
Oh, Rouge.
It's not even the
Okay.
prototype. That's the CG renders.
Well, no, we have. Well, it looks like gray prototypes. There's a render.
From what I've
And,
seen, it looks like gray renders to me. I can double check though, real quick.
Yeah, to me, it looks like it's actual prototypes here that are uncolored. Yeah, because they have her next to their cup and their Springer as well.
I'm wondering if her chest piece comes off.
Well, yeah. So the cool thing, been claimed to be the first to do this because the first is Megatron, but you can swap out her chest for another more lit-looking chest. If if there's a good reason. So, for instance, like sometimes we have alternate heads because one's more comic accurate, one's more toy accurate, one's more anime accurate. I don't know if that fits for this decision, but general sense of us being collectors, it's cool to have that kind of choice. Alternate chest that they showed off does look a lot more like what I see in the cartoon and the movie.
I tell you what, though, that alternate
Yeah,
chest is going to look weird in vehicle mode.
Well, I haven't. That maybe unless it's a fake piece. That's the thing that I don't quite understand yet. If that's the actual front part of the hood or if it's just fake.
Looking at the pictures, because I did look them up, and you're right. They definitely have prototype pictures in here, even though they do have renders as well.
Right.
But that does not look like it's the hood piece. It doesn't have the same slope. It doesn't have. It's not as thin as the actual hood piece is. It's definitely not. So, yeah, that may not show up in the alternate mode at all.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, there's too many unknowns. I mean, for a figure, I mean, there's not, I guess, a whole lot other than just seeing how it transforms. But yeah, there's that unknown, and hopefully we'll see it soon enough. But you do make good points. The slope itself should be a dead giveaway. That's not the actual piece from the alt mode. Other than that, you got a rifle, you got a pistol, you got 5 additional faces you can just swap out, including the one with the shades. So, I think it's an RC, a G1 RC for people who like G1 RC, which I would consider myself part of.
The glasses like from the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one time they showed up.
Also, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Yay, Counterpunch! Hey! Love you too, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah, my shift was relieved, so
Excellent.
Well,
Yeah.
good to have you here.
thank you. Glad to be
So,
here.
do you have a Sunstreaker intro for us?
No. Although I am getting it for my birthday.
Nice.
My girlfriend was just like, so what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, MP Sunstreaker. And she's just like, okay, whatever one that is.
Okay, so my question to you is your birthday fourth quarter 2017?
It's July, but at least we can pre-order it.
Okay.
Close enough.
So that's what, November?
Well,
October?
November, December, possibly even January.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So-
Hey, you know what? I don't care.
Get paid for.
If it's pre-ordered, it's pre-ordered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just want one. I have wanted a Masterpiece Sunstreaker. Since Masterpiece came out, I was like, you know what? Fuck Lambo. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Lambo's awesome.
Oh, the
Black
dangerous
Lambo-
words.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's a video on Facebook I could send you, CP, of this guy in the Philippines that, well,
No, I don't, but I don't want to either. Thank you.
Are they radicalized by ISIS?
Well, let's just say that's how Transformers are made.
I see.
Let's leave that one there. But at the same time, I will say that Lambo, or at least Sideswipe, was my first Transformer, and I adore the guy. So there are people who enjoy Sideswipe Lambo over Sunstreaker, but that's everyone's prerogative. And
Hey, don't get me wrong. I have the black G2 Lambo. It's great.
Okay.
Even Tiger Jack. I every year I go to TFCon, I'm almost like I'm gonna buy it just because I can have a yellow car and it looks like Sunstreaker. But at the back of my mind, I'm just like, no, it's gonna come out eventually. They wouldn't just release Sideswipe 8 years ago for no reason at all.
Has
would
it been
they?
8 years? I thought it was like 7 or 5.
Oh, something like that. It's a significant number of years.
Yeah, I've almost bought Tiger Tracks a few times just to be a yellow Lambo on the shelf.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to do. But at the same time, I was just like, no, it's gonna come. It's gonna be here eventually, and then when I buy that, it's gonna be worth nothing, or nobody will want to trade for it for the Tiger Jack or whatever. But you know, I'm just happy. Sunstreaker is one of my favorite bots, like of all time. If it wasn't CP, I'd probably be Sunstreaker.
Yeah. But
oh, here's my intro. It's hotter than the sun.
well, hopefully, you know, it's not too late in Q4 2017. We do know that, you know, coming up next, Artfire was just released. Then there's that not so great recolor of the Optimus Primal. So I think it frees up maybe September-ish, October, especially if they're this far along in the process. You may luck out and not have to wait that long.
Well, you know, what I really, I don't know if you guys have you guys talked about the figure yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just like the fact that the gun is in his leg. Like, that's freaking cool. And I think that's a homage to an episode of the show, right?
No.
No.
No, he never put the gun. I've never seen him pull a gun out of his leg.
Okay.
That's like RoboCop style, and RoboCop style is cool with me.
And other than that, Chip's you get Chip.
Yeah, everybody needs a quadriplegic.
Yeah.
Paraplegic, Tim. Gosh.
Yeah, get it right. But at the same time, you know what we do? We have those human characters already, and Chip is one of the ones we've been waiting on. So yeah, it's awesome that they're finally bringing him in.
I know what they did with Trax and Raoul, or whatever his name is, the break dancer.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the name right, dude.
Oh, okay.
Trax and Raoul and Masterpiece Blaster. Don't forget Masterpiece Blaster.
I know. I'm so excited for TFCon this year. I'm going to buy Trax. I want Trax so bad because of the blaster. And then I want an Ironhide, right? And then I wanted the boombox to be in Ironhide's back from that episode where he like gets up in basically Ironhide's trunk. Or is that Soundwave?
I know you're talking about, but I'm not sure which one it was.
So what you're saying is he's got some junk in the trunk?
Hold on, one at a time, boys.
So I think the way you're describing it sounds more like some fan fiction than an episode. But
No, that is an episode, but I just
No.
remember
There was
which
an
one.
episode. There was an episode at the beginning of it where like they're like blasters in Ironhide's trunk, and he's like blasting music, and then like all of a sudden, I don't know if it's Soundwave that's in it or Blaster, but, like, one of them transforms literally in the trunk.
Yep, but
Oh no, you don't. Ravage, he grabs his tail, and Ravage like, "Screw you, bitch," and just gets on him and starts. Oh, jeez.
but wait a second. Correct me if I'm wrong. Blaster was a season 3 character, and Ironhide was killed in the movie.
No, Blaster is season 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's where you have like the something beat bop where, you know, they go to the club and all the people are in robes or they're sleepwalking or whatever and they're taking control. That's all Blaster and Trax. That's why that Trax got that whole set there. Is because of that entire episode.
Yeah, it's a Soundwave in the trunk. I'll post an image to the chat.
Maz has become a robot.
No, I was gonna say Maz is playing Missile Command.
Maz, we need you to say, "Beware, I live."
Beware, I live.
All right, we're gonna go with that.
That was so funny.
I look forward to hearing how that sounds outside of my headset.
It's gonna sound
It sounds like you're playing Missile Command.
It sounds like you're songified, like you're trying to sing. Like, try to sing, Maz.
It's auto-tuned.
Oh, no one wants that.
Sing Over the Rainbow.
I danced enough for your amusement tonight. Today. You spent it tonight.
Bailo por queso. Hey, CP, could we get you a little bit louder, by the way?
Hold on.
I can hear him just fine.
How's that?
Oh,
How's that?
that's beautiful.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay.
because I don't have my headphones. Like I'm literally in the lobby of the hospital. So I don't have my headphones with me. So I figured, it's really quiet. No one's really here. I'd use the speakerphone, but I can use this like a regular phone too.
Okay.
I was gonna say, you're in a lot of the hospitals, a bunch of people there. They're like, mourning and dealing with stuff. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna do a podcast.
Yeah, I'm in one of those quiet rooms.
Oh, that's perfect.
And I just close the door. and nobody's like. It's really quiet here. Like I'm on the palliative care floor, right? So.
Oh, maybe we'll have to do a recording in the hospital quiet room in the future.
Hey, you know what? It's really convenient. Because after this, I'm just gonna go back and hang out with my grandfather.
Alrighty.
Right. That works.
But yeah, MP Sunstreaker, bomb. I am excited.
All right. Do we have any final thoughts on the Fanstoys Rouge?
Well, I've brought up the comparison pictures of Rouge versus Leia, and yeah, no comparison.
Right.
Well, I calls her rogue, I will want to slap the piss out of them.
It's gonna happen, darling. But
That's just one of my pet peeves with X-Men fans who don't know Rogue's name.
Anna Marie.
Oh, just people who... Nice.
Wow.
Sorry, had to do it.
That was well done.
Anybody else with Rouge thoughts?
No, I'm good on Rouge thoughts.
I actually might buy it, just because there is no G1 RC.
Yeah.
That's a good
Other
deal.
than that, there is a TFCon exclusive. I don't know if it's TFCon. I think that's Nightbird, but there is a Takara RC. It just, I don't like it at all. I don't like its transformation. I don't like its price. It's really dinky, but this one looks really cool. And even like, I didn't even know it had those glasses. Like that's so cool. If I were to actually open that up, that's what it would have. And then she'd have like that, like her finger pointing to her head to like make those glasses come down. For the movie.
So just so you know, the glasses isn't a feature like the MP9 Hot Rod Rodimus. It's already on one of the 5 extra faces, so it's static.
Yeah, not like if I were to do any sort of pose,
Right.
That's what it would be. The movie where she just put them on by touching her head or whatever, and that's what I would do. I'd have her posed up, and like I'm in like a fighting stance right now. Really.
Yeah.
People are looking at me like I'm weird.
Yeah.
Because I'm a visual learner, so I'm trying to do it while explaining.
Wow.
Well, no
Yeah, I do
worries.
emotions on the
We
phone all the time.
don't think you're crazy, or at least we don't think you're more crazy than normal.
Well, that's the surprise. I would really assume that you would have thought the latter.
Sumo Drake.
They're
Transformer.
crazy.
Well, then that means I'm not crazy,
Might look
because
crazy.
if
Everybody
the fact that I
crazy,
think that I'm
you're not.
crazy, I'm not crazy at all.
Right.
I guess you don't need a doctorate, Maz, to say that.
It's once you come into therapy and say, I'm fine, I have no problems, everything is wonderful. Yeah, they're the batshit crazy fuckers.
And then the ones that come in are just like, oh, I'm just so screwed up. You're like, no, you're okay.
They're on a better path. They need help.
That's funny.
Mental health.
Yay.
All right, what's next on our itinerary?
The last piece of news that we have to talk about is Figuarts. Vader, Jack Sparrow, Kamen Rider, Kabuto.
Yeah, so the Tamashii World Tour did a recent event over in Osaka, and there's also the Mega Happy 2017 Expo going on. So there's been lots of reveals recently. So they're tackling Darth Vader again, which is kind of good because their last release was way undersized. There's a Jack Sparrow, which I think he looks great. I almost hate to say that. He's a character that I enjoy and I hate at the same time. A couple more Kamen Rider releases, and I'm really stoked to have Kavan in his really human form. Or buy any Kavan merchandise except for the sword. I still want the sword though, I just want it like half price.
Half price sword. Yeah.
I have to look more into that Vader because I do have the original one. I mean, if it makes a big difference, I might be into it. Who knows? Maybe a Jack Sparrow, maybe not. And then I don't keep up with the common folks. So.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that there's been some Dragon Ball Z reveals with Tien, Yamcha, and Shenron.
You know, maybe
yes.
maybe the earlier Vader release was just Vader before he got the tall legs, cause you know, like, what's his name, Prowse, who was the original guy in the costume for Vader. He's like, what, 7'2" or something like that. But like Hayden Christensen is like 6 foot maybe.
Okay, so the earlier one could be Hayden Christensen Vader for a while, and before he got an upgrade.
Yeah, so I mean, at some point, Vader had to have gone from being Anakin Skywalker height to being, Vader height, and at some point he had to have gotten like longer legs, right? Because his legs are cybernetic. So it could just be his earlier, version, and then his like taller version, Jeez, how much would that?
Sexy tall Darth Vader. Hey.
Of course, how much would that suck to get used to? Just like you'd be like banging your dome on like everything for a while. Oops, sorry, got my new legs. Still getting used to them.
No, not even that. Like forgetting to duck.
Of course you do, my dear.
I'm sorry, like all four of you spoke at the same time.
Go ahead, Tim.
I was just doing a little thing from Spaceballs. I was just saying, just like, oh, I find you extremely attractive. Of course you do, my dear.
No, what I was gonna say.
Oh, it's so big.
You got to watch out for the legs, but no, it's more about the head. He's not gonna realize how tall he is, and he's gonna walk into a sign. He's like, oh fuck. Sorry, guys. I would have used the force there, but I didn't realize I was 7'2".
Oh my gosh.
And that's why they changed the capital ships to Star Destroyers, was just for the increased height for Vader.
Yeah. No, it's no secret.
So capital ships, they just scrapped them all, redesigned, and
it's no secret that
he's gonna keep murdering fuckers who laughed at him when he hit his head.
There's definitely more headroom in the later Imperial ships versus the earlier ones. I wonder if that was it.
Maybe it's just this huge, like, inside meta joke by George Lucas. And it's just like he's secretly laughing the whole time. And like no one gets it except him because he's done this for, fucking 30 years. It's all just jokes about Darth Vader's height.
That makes sense. I think no one gets George Lucas besides George Lucas.
Sometimes I'm not even sure George Lucas gets George Lucas.
That's awful.
Well, anybody have any...
You know what I found today? I know this is a little bit of a tangent. So, back in the day, I used to make my own robot heroes. Like, I would take I would take different parts and use some cool customizing. So I found my Trailbreaker that had a G2 gun on the back for his backpack. And then I used, if any of you guys remember Towline from Robots in Disguise 1999?
Yes.
And I actually found all of it today. Like this morning when I was cleaning out a couple of boxes, it's been like 3 or 4 years and I couldn't find it. And then all of a sudden I was moving some stuff around at my parents' house before I went to go see my grandfather, and I found it.
You'll have to take some pictures and show us.
So that's tonight.
Pardon me?
You'll have to take some pictures and show us.
Well, he's a little broken, so I gotta glue him back together. But I used the Robot Hero Grimlock body.
Okay.
I repainted it all black, and then the red legs and the blue chest plate. Actually, I did the same mold for a hoist years ago. Like, I'm talking like 2009. Like, this is a long time ago. And I had a Grimlock head and like all the hands. All I really did was switch to the Shockwave arm for the right. So he's got his like little his little arm thing.
Right.
And so that gave me the well, obviously Hoist and Trailbreaker are the same mold, right? So I was like, well, if I'm doing that, then I should just use my other Grimlock and make a Trailbreaker. So I took off Grimlock's head and I replaced it with, again, that toe line figure. I just painted it all black, and the top of his head is just a little bit of silver with blue eyes. And I don't know what gun this is from. I know it's from a G2. I don't remember. He had this little green or this little silver chrome gun. So I just filed off the back and then glued it to the back, and that was his force field. And then like the toe line's the head. So once I get it back together, I'll take a few pictures for you, and then I'll take a couple pictures of the hoist. It's really interesting because I used to have this huge craze. Like I love robot heroes. If I could go find more to make more, I would. But honestly, they're like $30 for a box of 2.
Wow.
Like they're so expensive.
Those figures were cool as hell. I wouldn't mind seeing a return of those, but I didn't know that aftermarket was that huge on them.
Oh my god, yeah. If you go look on DeviantArt, and I only found this out about 6 months ago, because I was like, I posted mine. I did a Perceptor, a Ratchet a long time ago. I've lost him. That was awful. I did a Megatron, using a Megatron. No. I did an Astro Train. I did Hoist, Trailbreaker, and like those are the only ones that really stuck. But yeah, like I said 6 months ago, there's these people who do like literally every single one. I have seen every single Transformer in a robot hero. I've seen Overlords. I've seen, I've seen all iterations of the Coneheads and the Seekers. I've seen they've made a Sawback and a Blitz, Laserbeak. One of them was, what was it? It was discontinued, so you couldn't even, same with Prowl, same with a couple other ones. They were discontinued before they were even released. Excited today. I have spent so long looking for this freaking piece of shit.
Right on.
That's lots of toys I need to clean out, and I do it because I just start playing with old toys, and then nothing gets done. So, it's a great sense of rediscovery.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? If I ever had the opportunity to buy like one set of each again, I already had ideas for Huffer. I had ideas for a Sideswipe. I had ideas for so many other Transformers that I would get right back into it. And yeah, it's a really interesting niche market. Like people sell these things for like $45 a piece. $45 a piece.
Meanwhile, my only robot heroes I really have is I've got Optimus Prime sitting on my car's dashboard, and Ravage sitting by my TV.
They came together, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, they were cool, and then they did all the movie ones, and then they became really lame. I just like the G1. The movie ones were really hit or miss. You could use some parts, but for the most part, you really had to be careful as to what pieces you were putting from a movie figure to a G1, because it would just look really off.
Well,
kind of like the Giant Frenzy.
The movie ones all looked like they were like getting ready to like pop a squat, like taking a deuce, you know?
Wouldn't you say that's all of them though?
Yeah, but the movie ones were really bad about
like,
that.
He's like, I gotta go poop.
Frenzy and Rumble have to go poop. In fact, they poop rocks.
It's just a natural thought with the movie figures, because whenever you think of the movies, you kind of think of shit. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of movie figures, did you guys talk about the Crosshairs?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Crosshairs is one of my favorite Target Masters. But I just saw a post on Cybertron this morning, and it showed a repaint of a Titan's Return cup, and anyways, like they think it's going to be an Orion Pax. If you look at the screen on the front of cup, it's blue, whereas Crosshairs is black. I'm pretty sure Orion Pax's chest plate is blue. Like, even if you look at the G1, I don't know if it's a reissue or what, but they did a G1 Orion Pax with Dion, and
Orion Pax had a Target Master, but it was also the original repaint of G1 Cup. So I think that that's sort of paying a homage to because of that original thing. But hey, who knows? It could be Crosshairs. It might not be. I don't know. But either way, I'm kind of excited. I would like another Orion Pax that doesn't look like garbage, like from Thrilling 30. I don't like that figure at all. So it'll either be a Crosshairs or it'll either be an Orion Pax. Apparently, because it's a leak, so who knows? It might not even be anything. It might just be a Photoshop.
Well,
I guess from someone's point,
I'm kind of suspecting it's probably going to be Orion Pax, because I've seen the
honestly
picture
think
that
so,
you're
too.
talking about.
Yeah, and I saw a few posts on Cybertron, and then they had the IDW picture, like from Spotlight, and that picture. Then they had that picture beside the Orion Pax with Dion, which is just another wheelie. The Dion's a wheelie, and like it's literally that reissue set, like the cup and the wheelie set. It's just repainted. So I think that they're just making it more consistent with what they've done before. I hope it's Crosshairs. I hope, but I'm not holding my breath or anything.
Well, maybe Hasbro will be smart and actually try to sell you every version of the bolt that they can.
Pretty much. Give us all your money.
I just don't really understand why they focus on the on the Decepticon Target Masters, but there's no indication that the Autobot Target Masters are going to be there either. Like, it's kind of a Lunchbag Letdown.
A Lunchbag Letdown.
I've not heard that before, so...
Really? Maybe that's a Canadian thing.
Possibly.
Lunchbag Letdown. It's like when you're opening your lunch as a kid and you get, like, tuna sandwich and you're like, fuck this. You get your other kid over there who's got, like, dip-ums or...
Hey, I love tuna sandwich.
What?
I love it.
Maybe... did you like it when you were, like, 6? Silence is accepted. So you didn't like tuna as a kid. All right. So let's go back to the original example. You have tuna as a kid. You're crying because you're.
I'm not crying. I love tuna. I ate it as a kid. I was just like, I never had it for lunch at school.
Okay, fine. What's something that you hate, Tim? What food do you hate?
What food do I hate?
Yeah. What food do you not like at all?
Durian.
If you're. All right. Fine. Say your mom made you that for lunch one day.
Oh,
right? And then your friend beside you, beside you has a tuna sandwich and you're crying because you want that. That's a Lunchbag Letdown. You open it up and you're like, "Fuck me."
Please don't.
I just realized how bad that sounded. That was awful.
Keep it.
But that's what a lunch. That's like my mother's like go-to phrase. If something isn't good, oh, that was a Lunchbag Letdown. Like, you go out for dinner and the meal sucks. That was a Lunchbag Letdown. It's just a phrase. But I don't know.
I like the phrase.
I love it. I think it's very fitting. I think it's very fitting.
I'm gonna start using that and just confuse the crap out of people around here.
Oh! I figured out a food I hate: liver. I hate liver.
Okay. All right, so your mom made you liver for lunch.
Oh, I hate liver.
You open it up and you're crying. You want to
Just
throw
such
it in the
disappointment that it
garbage.
just shakes you to your soul.
You ask every kid to trade, and you give them a Fort Max with it too.
Of course, nobody will trade for a liver sandwich. Jeez.
No. Who want that? Even with a Fort Max, they'd be like, "Fuck you."
I'd be like,
You can keep the...
I suppose I could just throw the sandwich away.
Pretty much. All right, guys. I kind of have to bow out. I wanted to come and chime in for a little bit while I could, but I gotta be with my family. So
well, thanks for
having me, guys.
Always a pleasure.
No problem.
Good to hear from you, CP.
Good to hear from you guys too. I'll talk to you guys later. Everyone have a good day, okay?
I will, because there's no liver in my lunch.
No Lunchbag Letdown for Tim.
That's right.
All right, guys. Have a good one, okay?
Thank you.
All right,
You too,
see ya.
Ben.
All right, bye.
Lunchbag Letdown. I like it.
Here's
Durian.
the episode title.
Was that durian? Was that the crap that you gave me when I came over that one day and said try it?
Yes.
Oh, gee. His wife eats the craziest crap, man.
I hear durians are delicious. Just it smells like a sewer trying to get to one.
It smells pretty bad, but it tastes pretty bad too.
I didn't know about it until Kamen Rider Gaim, because most of the armors are based after fruit. And there's one character who stole the show who his armor's a durian.
Well, that would be pretty good armor because durians are they're big and they're spiky because they freaking hate the world.
And you will hate the word too. The only thing Zach regrets is not filming my face.
Oh my gosh.
My facial expression
Except that if I pulled up my camera to film you while you ate it, you would have known that it would have been terrible.
Oh yeah. Well, I knew it was terrible because the first thing Winnie said is, "Okay, don't smell it. just eat it." That's like going to someone to "Hey man, let me give you a hand of shit. Don't smell it. Just eat it."
But I tell people that durian tastes like if you were to throw like a papaya and like a pair of old gym socks in a blender together, that's what it tastes like.
Oh my gosh, that's what it did taste like.
It's pretty bad. Oh,
My understanding is people that love it.
And my wife is gonna eat a piece right now because she hates me. Winnie, fuck you. Anyhow, gets? I guess.
Oh yeah, I got some gets. I've been building, and I'll be as quick as possible because I have a lot. Okay, start off. I got Titans Return Wave 4. I got 2 top spins, Perceptor and Cup. Awesome figures. Definitely glad I ordered online from Big Boy Toy Stores. Trying to find them is like impossible. I got Braun. I found him at a Target the other day.
That being said, I totally found Top Spin at Target the other day.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
You already had 2 of them. Why would I need to tell you?
To let me know that the new wave was out and a place I could keep up on and check? That would be good.
But you already got them, man.
Ugh. You're a dick.
Well.
So, I got Braun. He's pretty cool. Haven't opened him yet. But what I got that is really cool is Titans. I'm sorry, not Titans Return. The last night roleplay gun sword. That thing's pretty awesome and definitely worth the purchase with the cool sound effects. My wife said it looks kind of fake, and I said I don't care. It's awesome. Also, I got the BB7 upgrade kits for white MP10W and the MP10B. The Wei Jiang oversized RC. She's cool. Tighter joints than the Hazard one. And I got MP36, the Last Night Barricade and Berserker, R&D Deluxe Skywarp, and oh my gosh, Sky Shadow. Peace, I'm out.
Alrighty. I guess that was his phone ringing. Well, I don't know who else here has gotten the Titans Return Wave 4 figures, but I picked up Cut Perceptor and Top Spin the other day. Again, I also got through Big Bad Toy Store because I figured I'd probably never even see them in person in the real world. And then I actually did. Just the one, though. But they're pretty nice. Of those 3, I would definitely say that Perceptor is not the strongest figure. Just because, I mean, he's a really good homage, but, you know, because he's basically a G1 figure with posability, like, he's really simple, and, like, he's kind of gimmicky, I guess is what I want to say. I don't know, for somebody who really digs Perceptor, like, I can imagine that this would be, like, a freaking wet dream, like, absolutely just the most amazing thing that's ever happened. For someone who picked it up for the novelty, like I did, I'm like, it's cool, but I'm not like wowed by it. The cup is really good. I like his transformation. The only real issue I have with Cup is that his cockpit is pretty terribly designed, and the little headmaster guy does not want to sit in there like at all. Because there's no snug fit on them at all, and then, like, you know how the Titans Return figures have got the little tab on the back of the legs? It just like holds like a third of that tab, like really, really tenuously, and it lets go at any moment with any provocation. But his transformation is fun, and the cup figure itself, you know, in a robot mode is really well done. Feels really good. But definitely, I'm gonna have to say that Topspin has stolen that show. Like, Topspin is right up there with Trigger Happy. He's just really, really fun. Really cool transformation. Really great in both modes. Like, just all around, just a fantastic figure.
Yeah, I thought the Perceptor was better than the Reveal the Shield Perceptor.
I think I think the transformation on the Reveal the Shield Perceptor is better in my mind. But the Titans Return one is definitely more true to the G1 character. Like, really, really true to the G1 character. Like, it is basically the G1 figure, but with posability. Kind of like what they did with Six Shot. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Well, I was saying that the Titans Returns Perceptor has a gun that kind of tries to be a sniper rifle.
Yeah, and I think I think that his gun would be a lot better if it didn't also try to be a seat for a Titans Return figure, like all of the guns in the whole line are supposed to do. Like, the seat is what makes that kind of as a gun. But it's even got like a little bipod on it, and it's really kind of a cool little gun. It just would be cooler if it didn't have a seat on it, but you know, you make do what you can. He's got a different neck socket than any of the other Titans Return figures, and his neck socket is so tight that when I was trying to pull his head off to turn him into the little robot guy, like, the little robot guy's head came out of the ball socket instead of releasing from the dock. Like, it is really in there.
Mine was not that tight.
No, mine was ridiculously tight. I do like that he's got dedicated parts, paint apps, and like tabs and whatnot for his tank mode, and yet there's nothing in the instructions whatsoever for it. It's just this completely, like, totally official, absolutely unofficial tank mode, and it's pretty great because wasn't the tank mode a fan mode to begin with?
I'm not sure if it was a fan mode. I know there's a Transformers manga at some point where Perceptor did transform into a tank mode. But yeah, I'm not sure what the origins of that were. But I thought it was great that they included the parts for it. I wish they would put in instructions in some way to help bring more notice to it. But I dig it either way.
I've also picked up a Sky Shadow. I was kind of, at first I had not sold myself on Sky Shadow because I am not real big on getting repaints. You know, the biggest thing for figures for me is, you know, I get figures for the novelty of it, and, you know, it's a new figure, and you know, I like to look at them, and I like to play with them, and I like to figure them out. But a repaint is basically the same figure in a different color, so it doesn't bring a lot of new stuff to me personally as a collector, usually. And
it's black and red.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, is that I was like, okay, Overlord is totally like more of a thing than Sky Shadow, and so I think I'm just gonna hold out for that. And then it showed up at my store, and I saw it in person. I was like, this color scheme looks so good. The color scheme just reached out and touched me. It probably touched me inappropriately, but yeah. So I was just
just right.
I was just like, F it, I'm just gonna go for it. So I'm not gonna pick up Overlord, I guess, because he's basically Sky Shadow. But I have Sky Shadow, and he's really great. And the one thing I never expected, I mean, because I've seen the video reviews, and I've seen pictures and whatnot, but it's not till you get him in hand that you realize how effing adorable his tank mode is. Like, it is just precious, man. Like you want to like pinch its cheeks or something like that. Like, it's the cutest, like, little stumpy derpy tank mode. It's great. I was transforming and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. But yeah, that was something that I was not expecting, and it was a pleasant surprise.
It looks like a cool mold. Just to get it in Thunderwing first, I would have gone for that for sure. Yeah, on Black Shadow, he's beautiful. He looks great. I don't have the emotional attachment to the character. He's not in the gangsters too much.
Yeah. And see, the last time we came out with a Sky Shadow figure, which was the repaint of the Thunderwing, yes, the repaint of Thunderwing. I didn't pick that one up. Well, mostly because I never saw it. I think Tim bought all the ones that we had in the Tri-Cities, like all of them.
Did you say Thunderwing?
No, Sky Shadow, the Generation Sky Shadow, the deluxe class one.
My wife only bought me one.
Oh well, I never saw him, and I figured the reason I never saw it is because you bought it. Thanks, Tim.
No.
I actually bought a couple extra cheap Battle Rocks one time, just thinking I might do something customized with them, but they're just sitting on the shelf unused.
Yeah.
Or in a drawer.
But another figure that I got, I took a trip out to Indonesia about a month and a half ago, and on my way back, I stopped in Taipei, and at the airport there, there was a toy store in the airport, so I was like super happy. And they were selling Transformers and stuff like that, and they were selling the Cyber Battalion figures, which, if anybody who doesn't know what the Cyber Battalion figures are, it's basically like what you'd expect from like a Cyberverse Legends style figure, but like they're about the size of a Deluxe or a Voyager, depending on which price point you get. And they had, if I recall, Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, Jetfire, and Prowl. And of those figures, I've always got a soft spot for Jetfire, so I picked it up. And it's kind of a snazzy figure. It's definitely what you expect from like a Legends type figure, but it is definitely Voyager sized. But simple transformation, simple paint apps, simple sculpt. He's got a fair amount of posability. I kind of wish he had knees, but he doesn't. But he's got like shoulders and elbows and hip joints. He's actually got ratchets on his hips. But it's kind of fun. His wings have got like on the underside where they tab in, they've got 3 different little tabs, and one tab is where they're tucked in for robot mode, and then it's got 2 different tabs for the alternate mode. So it's kind of like the leader class Jetfire in that it's got the little they retain the swing wing function, which is great, and a great little throwback to the original Jetfire toy. But it's kind of nice. I don't know that I can really recommend it to anybody because it's for the Hasbro Asia market, and so you'd have to import it to get it to the States, and even at the price point that I was getting it for in Taiwan, like I knew that I was getting it mostly for the novelty factor, not because, oh my gosh, I'm getting a great deal for my money here. So I don't know that I can really recommend it to anybody, but it's kind of a fun figure. If you happen to find one for, $10 or $15, maybe that might do. I think I paid. What did I pay for this one? Wait, did you remember? Oh, I don't remember either. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it was slightly more than I would have ideally wanted. But I figured I had to get it, so I did. And then the only other thing that I really have of note is I bought myself a Soul of Chogokin Voltron. It's been a few months, but then again, it's been a few months since I got on the podcast. So if you guys want, I'd be happy to talk about that.
So how much does he weigh?
How much does he weigh?
Yeah. How much metal is there?
Well, okay, let me go pick him up and see what I can think. So basically, each lion has got die cast in him at some point. I think all in all, the whole figure, I want to say, just from gauging off of how he feels in my hand, I want to say he's probably about at least a couple pounds. Each lion has got die cast on them. Like the yellow and the blue lions have got, like, the legs of the lions are all completely die cast. There may be die cast inside them somewhere, but that's the only die cast I can feel on the outside. The arm lions have got die cast mostly in the elbow joint and a little bit in the legs. And there's a fair amount of die cast in the black lion. So he definitely ends up being heavier than my other Soul of Chogokin, which is Gaogaigar. But this figure is freaking amazing. Like, this is... I spent a lot of time, for some reason, I spent a lot of time deliberating which Voltron I wanted to get. Because there's three Voltrons that I was really kind of deciding between. There was the what do they call that one? Toonami released that Ultimate EX Voltron, and it was like an 18-inch tall Voltron, and it had pretty good sculpt on it and pretty good posability on the lions and just some cool features. But that was like $400, and it turned out to be like all plastic, no die cast on it whatsoever, and just like some other features, like there was no ratchets in the hips of the combined Voltron mode. It was all like ball joints, and I was like, ball joint hips on an 18-inch tall figure doesn't really strike me as being real good, especially in the long run. And then there was the King of Beast, the Infinity Goken King of Beast figure, that they were re-releasing it under the Voltron name, because it originally came out as a third-party Voltron, and then the guys who are in charge of Voltron in the Asian market were like, you know what, that's really cool. How about we throw you some money and you re-release it under the Voltron name, which is something that is kind of a fun little concept that you would never see in like the Transformers community. There's no way that Hasbro would be like, dude, that's cool, once you release it officially. But yeah, the King of Beasts later saw an official release, and I was thinking about that, but I ended up getting the Soul of Chogokin one, and I think that it really was the best choice. The transformation on it is just amazing. The posability is really good. I wouldn't say that it's like freaking amazing, but it's really good, especially when you compare to, like, I don't know, pretty much any other Voltron made. With some notable recent exceptions, like the aforementioned Ultimate EX Voltron, which can actually do the Iron Man pose, and that was something that I thought was cool about that guy. But like I said, I couldn't get into that one. But all of the individual lions have got like ball joints on their legs, and like some form of mid body articulation, and they just like as individual lions, they really look great together. And then combined together, like the proportions are perfect, the colors are perfect, like the way it all combines together is just freaking amazing. And it comes with like you'd expect from the Soul of Chogokin toy. It comes with just like a buttload of accessories, which all have like this cool little stand. Each lion has got like the 4 limb lions have all got their little pop-up weapons that you see some of the versions of Voltron have, little pop-up ones that come out of the back, and then they all have their little mouth blades. And then each lion also comes with a pair of weapons that tab into the front shoulders. And so when you get them all kitted out, like, they look pretty great. Like, they look like they're ready to go, like, you know, kick some ass. Of course, it comes with the shield, and it comes with the sword, and then it also comes with a pair of littler swords that I don't think they ever showed up in the animation. If they did, it must have been the Japanese one, because I don't recognize them at all. But you know, they look pretty good. But just the whole thing is just so nice looking. It is so cool. It is so like if you're a Voltron fan, and like you grew up with Voltron and it's kind of your jam, like this is definitely the one to get. And I would also go so far as to say that if you're someone who's just like, well, maybe I should just have one version of Voltron because it was cool in my childhood, but I'm not gonna like collect every version out there. Like if you're only gonna get one Voltron, this is definitely the one to get.
So it's cool what you said about that figure having a lot of articulation. But how do you feel about the die-cast pieces? Does that hinder any type of articulation you'd normally get from that type of mold?
Well, I think the biggest thing. Okay, so when you talk about diecast hindering articulation, then really it comes down to balance issues. And to be perfectly honest, so Soul of Chogokin, of course, Bandai has a few different lines. They've got their Super Robot Chogokin line, which is a line of smaller, non-transforming robots that they focus on, the articulation and posability and whatnot. And then they have the Soul of Chogokin figures, which tend to focus more on, transformation and combination gimmicks. And so it doesn't have terribly good posability in the knees. Like, it's great for standing poses and whatnot, but you're not going to get this guy to kneel down because it gets maybe 50 degrees of motion in the knees. And so really what it comes down to, though, is that you're not, the knees make it so that you're not going to get it in the type of pose that is going to have to worry about balance issues. Like pretty much any pose you get this guy into is still going to be a roughly flat-footed pose. And there's enough articulation in the feet that you're gonna have a nice solid pose pretty much whatever you do with it. And so no, the diecast really doesn't hinder it as a figure at all. The only reason it's really got that the knee articulation is what it is because you've got all of the combination stuff in the knees right there at that point. Because the black lion legs fit into the back of the blue and the yellow lions. And so but all of the joints, the knee joints of the combined mode are the leg joints of the black lion, and so you can't get them to turn past where they fit inside the other lions, and so it doesn't have a bigger posability there, which is, if you ask me, just a perfectly acceptable design thing, and it actually still gets more knee articulation than, say, like the Soul of Chogokin Megazord.
Okay, well, that sounds really good.
But yeah, this figure is beautiful.
Yeah, I've still not pulled the trigger on any Soul of Chogokin releases. Someday. Maybe that renewal date Kuga. I don't know.
Well, they are reissuing that Dan Kuga, aren't they? Like a renewal version, right?
Yeah, I suppose it's going to improve the joints. They have an additional head that's non-transforming to be more anime accurate. So you can have the Eagle Fighter or the non-transforming head, depending on preference.
Who was it that made just the head? There was a company that they made just the head of the Dan Kuga.
They made an Eagle Fighter just by itself.
Yeah.
So as a robot, transforms into the Eagle mode, of course, and the head. It looks great. Just it is huge for a skinny, spindly figure. If HLJ does a sale, I'll probably buy it.
I don't know. The only Soul Chigokins that I'm really still interested in is if I definitely kind of want to get that Megazord because I used to watch Power Rangers when I was a kid, and like that was my show. Like I remember Power Rangers when it was a brand new thing in the United States, and so that was where my Power Ranger memories all came from, was that era, and that is basically the best version of the Megazord that's ever been released. And there's rumors that there's a Dragon Zord coming out soon. But I think the only other one that I'm kind of interested in is the Voltus V, because it has a really fun combination mode, and but I don't know. I don't know how much more like Soul of Chigoken I'm gonna really like. I don't know how much Soul of Chigoken is in my life still. I got the ones that I really wanted to get, but like I don't just like look at a random Soul of Chigoken figure and be like, oh my gosh, I really want that. You know.
For a lot of them, I mean, the price point, you have to really kind of think how important this is to you when you're looking at a $200, $300 plus figure. I know for myself, I'm thinking about maybe trying some of the Messenger Angels just as an entry point in the line, just to have my own reference for it. Because I can take on Minerva X in that series.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, she takes a lot of design nods from Sharon from Devilman. So kind of like that combination of aesthetics.
Yeah, but that's my gets. That's all I got on pre-order. I've still got that Striker Noir. It was supposed to show up last Wednesday, but my seller, basically he says that there's a some sort of a bottleneck in China, where I guess all of the priority packages are getting on the airplanes before his package. And so instead of getting delivered on Wednesday, it just like FedEx kind of like ate it for a while, and they're like, yeah, it's somewhere, but we don't have a release date. We don't have a delivery date for you yet. And then finally just today it updated, and they're like, yeah, it'll be here on June 1st. And so like 9 days late, and my seller is pissed because my seller is Titan One Toys, by the way, and not only is the store a pretty cool store, like he's been he's one of the earlier releases in the States. Like he was the first guy to get a few different figures, and so the people who bought through him were able to get those before a lot of other people. I think that the Cosmos. The Fan Toys Cosmos was, no, it was the Toy World Cosmos. I think he was the first one to get that, and I think he was also the first one to get the KFC Blitzwing, and he was the first to get a couple different figures. He was slated to be the first to get that Fans Toys Jetfire guy, but his package has been delayed. He's got like 22 people who are waiting around for their Skyfire, and it's just not showing up. And they're all like, oh, we can see all these people and they're showing off pictures and we really want it, and where is it coming? And I can only imagine that's super frustrating for him. But
it's out of his power.
Yeah, it is. But in addition to being an upstanding guy, he lives like like a mile and a half from where I live, so I'm able to just like go on down to his house and be like, hey, what's up, man? And hang out and pick up all my packages straight away, which is great because I don't have to wait for him to ship them to me. But it also is not so great because he usually throws in candy with the packages, and he doesn't throw me any candy when I buy toys from him, which is kind of disappointing. But I guess you win some and you lose some. But yeah, so I should have that by the 1st, which is another 4 days from now.
Not that much bad of a wait.
No, it's not that bad. And because I don't have to pay for him to ship it from his house to my house, like I save myself a few bucks,
Sure.
And that adds up, especially when I have, a limited toy budget.
Yeah, every dollar counts. So yeah, I mean, at least you got a good hookup. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of like the luck of the draw. Sometimes you get retailers that are just kicking it left and right, get everything new, ship it out fast, and it's awesome. But obviously not under his control.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they fix that for the next big releases that come out.
Yeah, I think he's decided.
That sounds like a good sell.
I think he's decided he's going to switch to UPS for the future.
No.
So yeah, that's my life. I got those figures recently, and I've got that guy on pre-order, and I've kind of pre-ordered the MPP 27, the Wei Jiang oversized Ironhide, but I don't know what the final price for that is for my seller yet, so I'll wait till it's like official to say that I've officially pre-ordered it.
Cool. All right, I will go ahead and start off my gets. Not a whole lot of stuff since the last episode, but they are significant. Start off with the very last shipment of the Transformers Collectors Club subscription service 5.0. We got Toxitron, we got Counterpunch, and we got mystery figure Shattered Glass Starscream. The cool thing about these are that it's of their own fiction. You get or some other type of fiction. You get a brand new combiner based off of several different hodgepodge characters that form together and become really cool looking. The color schemes on it when you finally combine them, and the cool thing is that there's they're different. There's obviously the club has an idea of what they want, but I've seen some other combinations using some of those, for lack of a better term, throwaway characters that came out under Combiner Wars, like Rook or Alpha Bravo, who just didn't originally belong to the groups that they were signed on with when the waves were coming out. So essentially, I mean, just imagine the molds that are already out, and you have these new characters. Some extra hand feet pieces. The sword that came with Motormaster also comes with this set. The thing that was kind of neat, and it totally, it wasn't really supposed to be part of the set, but since it's part of the mystery figure, is you got a hand-foot gun with the Starscream, and it's translucent red, which looks really nice. And it kind of reminds me of the Energon combiners that the club did a few years ago. I know Maz was showing off one of his new gifts. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. It's neat. It doesn't really fit anywhere else, but maybe you do something cool like you have a bunch of solid black hand feet, and then you just use this one as like a burning fist if you're into like Japanese culture or anime, even some video games. They have that burning fist, and I think that would look really cool with that. So here we go. That's the last official offering of the club. It's over. I've paid my dues. I like the figures. They have really good color schemes on each of them, and it's just the moment in time that has now passed, and we'll see, if anything else comes to take its place in the near future. Hopefully, if there is something new that comes out, they do still try to get you a little bit something different than just a different color scheme, because the club, for some of the faults that they've had, they have done pretty well with bringing in things that weren't part of the normal retailer experience. Like we got some of the Japanese microns from Transformers Prime. Those weren't included with some of the figures that they came out with in the States. And different molds for heads or what have you. So it was nice. It was a nice touch. But this is a good set. And like I said, it's over. So, hooray!
It's like that that Shattered Glass Starscream comes with the Starscream head that the Ghost Starscream in Japan had. That's the only release of that head.
That is correct. Yeah. That's it's a nice little perk. That's just something you don't expect, and it helps out. It just adds to not a monetary value, but just like the value of owning something that's supposed to be exclusive. Like, here you go, unless you bought, as opposed to the States and everywhere else, Takara took the route of selling Combiner Wars as whole sets, and that was it. You couldn't just get single figures individually like you did everywhere else. So, yeah, in order to get that sculpted head, you had to put up some money, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that were into Combiner Wars or those figures, they still don't have that set just because it was a lot more expensive than just going to retail and buying your Voyager and 4 deluxes. So yeah, that's really cool, and like I said, I'm happy with it. I need to put some more time into keeping combined mode, maybe play with, the different limbs and see what looks better. But offhand, hey, it's got some good fiction behind it. It's kind of lacking, but it's there, and it makes for a memorable character, as opposed to just like we imagine something and here you go. Like I said, some of those throwaway characters from before, like Roker, Alpha Bravo, who don't really have any backstory at all. They just showed up, and we were expected to kind of accept it,
Yeah.
Let's see. Another neat item, and this just came in 2 days ago. I had backed the Ocular Max Kojin project, which is a repaint of their Inferno mold to be Artfire.
No, that was a Kickstarter one, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, good on them for delivering something pretty much on schedule. I mean, it probably was on schedule, but I don't remember for sure. I think they said it'd be late May we'd get it. And I think I backed it in early March. I think it's like between February and March you could back it. So that's really not too far out for getting a product in hand after, paying. The figure itself looks really nice. Has a great color scheme on it. Very reminiscent of Artfire, the person the character you're supposed to be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Comes with an extra head. Comes with a target master, which was the big, I think the big bonus for people, because this is the first use of this mold. Ocular Max or Mastermind Creations haven't really, Mastermind Creations made a figure kind of that small way back when in the Hearts of Steel Shockwave. There's a little scuba guy, or if you just got the Shockwave, then it was just a mini Shockwave. But this is the next closest thing to being that small. And playing with it and trying to transform it, maybe they bit off a little bit more than they can chew, because it feels like it doesn't really transform into its gun mode that correctly. I think there's some tolerances that could have been fixed on some of the ball joints, or even how joints work on there. And one of the more disappointing parts is that in gun mode, he's a real pain in the ass to keep in hand with your larger figure, which kind of takes away from the whole experience. I haven't used it in Artfire or Kojin's alt mode, but there is the ability to do that. You can just stick them up front on top of the ladder. But generally speaking, I think people are gonna display these guys in bot mode, and like I said, just kind of a shame that he has a really difficult time fitting into the hand and staying there. So
I'm not sure if we've gotten a really good third-party target master yet.
Yeah, I mean, your mileage may vary on the various folks who brought it out. I really like the X-Transbots Target Master. I was able to get a convention exclusive one a while back, so that's my only experience with it. But it seemed to work pretty well. But other larger Target Masters, like I have the DX9 one that came with SG Rodimus. That one wasn't very good. So yeah, we haven't really found like the epitome of Masterpiece Target Masters yet, but there's hope. And really, the hope could come into.
Well, I mean, for that matter, we got a Masterpiece Target Master with the Hasbro Hot Rod, and that figure was kind of a dumpster fire too.
Yeah. It really didn't even seem to fit in well. And maybe it's just because of the time it came out, but I liken it more to some of those movie, I guess, Nest figures. I don't know, the aesthetic of it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just me, buying those figures around the same time as that coming out, but it didn't fit in.
Well, I mean, it had a decent robot mode, but its gun mode didn't really look that much like a gun,
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
I jokingly tell people when the subject does come up that the best third party target master has definitely been the mastermind creation. What's his name? The Decepticon Justice guy.
Oh yeah, boss.
Yeah, that just
Um,
turns into a big old rifle, and it's like, yeah, that's cool.
that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, yeah. Well, the other thing too is, and I don't have them in hand yet, but Takara may have pulled off something really cool with their official version of Nightstick, but it's so early. Well, early. It's so close to the official release date that I really haven't seen a lot of reviews on it, or I haven't seen any. There could be some out there, but I haven't looked, and I don't have it in hand, so I can't compare the two. But it's just in bot mode. This Nightstick is all right. He does have a lot of articulation. I think maybe just the design itself was a little ambitious, and some of the tolerances could have been worked on to make it more stable, and maybe they just didn't have enough time to work on it. So I don't really like the Night Beat that came with this package, but I kind of look at it as just an extra add-on that I'll ignore. I got it more for being a nice looking art fire, and I don't think he doesn't disappoint me. He looks really good.
And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind is that you buy something like that, and like I don't think anybody's just like, oh, okay, so art fire, whatever. It's this nightstick that I'm really interested in. Like I don't think anybody's getting that for the nightstick.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can see where some people get it's like, well, they are a team. You get Art Fire because he has Nightstick, but not you get Nightstick and you get an Art Fire. So in that sense, it's a little bit of a disappointment, but I'll make do. It's fine. The main figure itself is really good. They used all their past history with the mold and kept the corrections that were needed for the Inferno. So this guy doesn't seem to have any problems right now. I was able to transform him with no difficulty. He's a great solid guy. I'm not sure if I'm going to switch out the little head shoulder wings. They are pretty large on this. They do give you the option to get the shorter set that came with the Inferno, but I'll see how it goes right now. Because at least it does help differentiate from the other mold. But I'm just not sure how I want to display them yet. Like I said, I just got them 2 days ago, so I've got some time to play. Overall, I'm satisfied. Like I said, just the Target Master itself could have been done a little better. In execution, it just seems like it falls short, and it really would have been cool to have him as, the Target Master in hand. And it's like I said, it's just difficult. Maybe it's just mine. I don't think it is, but we'll see. But with that little bit of disappointment, overall, I'm happy with the purchase. It was a really good price in the end, and hey, now I've got all 4 versions of this mold from Ocular Max. So hopefully, I'll go ahead and take a picture of them together, and we can put that up on the YouTube video when we get that available.
Nice.
All right, and then the only other thing, kind of niche for our target audience, but as I've mentioned before, I do like horror movies. I like spooky stuff, and I ventured my foot into yet another spooky product. This is Sideshow's Beetlejuice figure. He's 6 scale, which means the figure comes out about 12 inches tall. He looks a lot like an actual person, like the way Michael Keaton looked in the movie. You've got a lot of cloth on here for the clothes. And what's really cool about this, they kind of weathered it a bit, gave it a couple little stains, so like his shirt isn't just a pure white. It's kind of dirty white, which makes sense for the character himself. The head sculpt, the face looks really damn good. I mean, I'd say on par with products like Hot Toys, where they do the ultra realistic sculpts of the actual actors.
Mm-hmm.
So really good. He comes with I don't know, like offhand about 8 different additional hands so you can make various poses with. I got the Sideshow exclusive edition, so that came with the handbook for the recently deceased, and that's not available in the general release for this guy. And there's a very large accessory that you can buy separately for him, which is the tombstone that says "Here lies Beetlejuice." I picked that up, and what's really neat about that is that it has a light function, so the writing can glow red. You can, keep it off if you want, but when you turn it on, it's kind of like I don't know, it kind of reminds me of something seedy, which of course totally fits Beetlejuice. If like you're hanging out in some back alley and you see a neon sign, you're like, oh man, do I take my chances here or no? Beetlejuice would take chances, and he'd take them proudly. So, that all came in and looks really damn good. And again, it's just kind of like a matter of kind of playing around, seeing what kind of pose and what kind of and hand gestures I want for him. But he's another addition to my proud 6-scale horror movie collection.
Nice.
And that's my gets for this time.
All right.
Nice. Kudos.
Do we have a Maz for gets?
Maz had to step out. He's got some family things that he had to do.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it for gets.
Unless you guys want part 2 of mine, but I used up my get time.
What
We're at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
What?
Real quick, tell us what you think of the Last Night Barricade and Berserker.
Barricade and Last Night Berserker are not worth $20. They're okay, and I do mean okay. Berserker, it's hard to get him in his alt mode. Like he has so many tabs, they don't like tab together. You push to one part, someone else pops out. It's kind of a frustrating to transform. Robot mode's kind of cool, kind of got the monster vibe going. Head's on a ball joint with some decent articulation, but if you can get him for 15, yeah, that's okay. But 20, no way. They're not $20 toys, no way. But Barricade is probably my favorite of the line because his police car holds together fine. It looks good. I like the fact he has a nightstick and the gun on the arm. He's cool. It's like they missed the mark on a few things that could have been perfect. Like a waist swivel would have been nice. On top of that, an easier way to detach the ride shield and have it peg on.
Oh, well, that's not a real gimmick though. Like
I know.
The shield isn't
I'm saying
designed to
it's
come
an
out.
opportunity because the backpack's so big.
Mm-hmm.
So, but honestly, what I think about them so far, I'm not like, oh my gosh, because they feel kind of cheap for what you pay for them, honestly. So, and I hope the new Voyagers that they have coming out. I mean, the Prime's good. I hope Scorn's good, and I hope Nitro's good.
So with this release of figures, and specifically speaking to the deluxe class, is it only Walmart that's carrying them for like the $15 price point, and everyone else is $20?
Correct.
Okay. So there's hope, and until we get some sales or whatnot, and just kind of pick your retailer.
Which we probably will get sales.
I mean, not to rant on too much, but we have so many like repaints from older toys, like Slash and things like that.
Yeah, Slash is it's okay. So Slash and Bumblebee are both in that wave, and they are both just straight up repaints of previous figures. And I don't know, like I kind of liked the Slash from his previous iteration. He was not one of the Dinobots that saw screen time, but he was kind of fun, I guess, until you like transform him and realize that half of him is rubber and kind of just But that Bumblebee, I was just really kind of about that Bumblebee because it's a repaint.
I don't want to pay. Yeah, no one wants to pay $20 for a repaint, a less repaint, and I do mean less paint, for an Age of Extinction toy that they got ages ago, which used to be only $15.
Yeah, well, it's just he's so much more yellow than he was before, and I don't think it makes him look good at all.
To me, it seems like Bumblebee might be the outlier out of that whole group because the rest of the figures look like maybe they're not like completely adorned with paint, but the paint that you do get looks kind of premium, or at least different than what you normally get from a regular retail. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, as Vangelis pointed out, Barricade has paint apps on his front and the back of his car. Like he's got like taillight paint apps, which is actually kind of a rare thing in Transformers.
Right.
Yet Bumblebee has less.
Well, like I said, he's the outlier, but I don't know what that decision was for, but oh well. Besides, we're gonna get like 5 more Bumblebees out of this line anyway.
Yeah, 'cause we've got another deluxe one coming, and then we've got a Voyager one coming, and then we've got, of course, all the gimmick Bumblebees, like the one with the little silly mask thing and the little one-step changers and whatnot. Then, of course, there's the Masterpiece. Oh my.
Yes, like I said, if I'm holding back on getting movie figures, just because it just seems like I don't really enjoy them as much. They don't get a lot of shelf space. But if the upside to that is, well, I don't buy all of these Wave 1 figures, and I save myself, I don't know, $120. That's more than enough for the Masterpiece Bumblebee, which I'm totally sold on, and will be a lot better in my opinion. So, yay!
I'm going to wait to see what Barricade's going to look like, Masterpiece Barricade.
Okay.
Because,
part of me. So Bumblebee's coming out, and he's gonna be $80, and Prime's coming out, and he's gonna be like what, 120, and then and then Barricade's coming out, and he's gonna be $80 as well, and I had started off the Masterpiece line with the misconception that they were going to be $60 for the smaller ones and $100 for the larger one. And I apparently must have read something wrong, or just understood it wrong, or just remembered it wrong. But I was wrong, and I'm like, geez, $80. I mean, like I dig Bumblebee as a character. I know a lot of people around here hate him, and I gotta say, I wouldn't be like offended to see him like get killed off if he gets killed off in the movie, which we all know he's not going to be. But if he did, that would be kind of cool. But I mean, I kind of dig the character. I definitely dig the toys. I at one point had like at least a dozen different iterations of just the movie Masterpiece, or sorry, just the movie Bumblebee. But I mean, I'm really interested in the Masterpiece figure, but I'm not sure if I'm like $80 of interested in it. Like, I could probably swing for that, but then I'd be less likely to swing for the other ones. And I mean, if I get Bumblebee, I really want to get Barricade, and so I'm sitting here thinking, gosh, do you think they're gonna like? I mean, shoot, China makes KOs of every single other Masterpiece. Do you think they're gonna come out with Masterpieces with KOs of those ones?
Possibly.
Because there's no way I'm buying that Optimus Prime at $120. Like, yeah, it's a really good looking Optimus Prime, but it's
with
not,
skinny arm.
It's not $120 of good looking Optimus Prime,
My thing is, my issue with the Masterpiece Prime is that I know it's an homage to the first year of the release of the movie, which is great. It's just, that aesthetic is just worn its welcome years ago. That's my thing. That Prime aesthetic just is worn out its welcome. I have the Revenge of Fallen Prime. I have no desire to spend $120 on a Prime that will probably not impress me.
Well, and the biggest thing that I have is that, it does look better than the Revenge of the Fallen Prime. But it doesn't look like a whole lot better than it. Like, it looks a little better than it. It looks like it's definitely going to be the definitive transforming version of Optimus Prime. But like, you know, I would have definitely paid $120 for it. And I know that Tim's on mute, so he's not going to hear this. But Optimus Prime needs to be bigger. He's the same size as the leader class figure, which means he's not even going to properly scale with Bumblebee, who is like the size of a leader class figure. Like the Masterpiece Bumblebee is apparently about the size of the old Dark of the Moon or Bumblebee, and if he's that size, like, Optimus Prime has got to be bigger, because scale is one of the things, especially robot mode scale, is one of the things that they take into account when it comes to Masterpiece figures. And if they don't scale properly, like seriously, you know? So that's something that kind of bugs me.
Well, I think you can still hold out some hope in once we find out how these are going to be released. So if they're going to be a store exclusive, online exclusive, or they're just hidden sale. What we've seen before with movie characters, especially like the larger ticket items, like that Optimus that was he had the trailer that transformed into the backpack and all that, and the exoskeleton.
Mm-hmm.
That was a large ticket item, but it'd go on sale, and we're talking like $20 off. So if these guys hit the general market as opposed to specific retailers, I think you'll be seeing some of that, and that could help you out. But
maybe, except that as far as we know, yeah. I mean, the only domestic Masterpiece releases have ever been Toys R Us exclusive, and there's likely every chance that that's going to continue to be the case with this, that they are going to be Toys R Us exclusives, which means that Toys R Us is going to get 3 of them in total, and nobody's going to be able to get them, and there's no way it's going to go on sale later because it's just they're not going to get hardly any of them. I don't know why Toys R Us is so psyched about getting these figures and then so shitty about releasing them.
Well, we'll just kind of hope and wait to see what actually goes on. But yeah, you do bring up a good point. The Masterpieces. So Walmart had the original Masterpieces.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Skywarp, I believe. And then Toys R Us took over the exclusive part of it, and yeah, a lot of times it has been hard getting them, unless they put the price up more than people want to pay for it, and then you have Bumblebee sitting out there for what was it, $70, but hopefully that doesn't happen this round. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about time to wrap it up. Anything else?
Nope. I'm Timotheus Prime. Good luck and good night. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, love you guys. Peace.
And this is Necro. You've got less than a month until that movie comes out, so make your plans. Get your friends together because they've got to experience the same emotions that you're experiencing at that time, and go see a damn movie.
And this is Acamus Prime saying, remember to be good and do good stuff always.
My love is like a truck berserker. Blah, 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 berserker. Berserker!